right, let's do a quick update on our little chicks. Our little chicks are doing fantastic. Chicks and duckling, our single duckling. They're all doing fabulous. We have upgraded their feeder water situation because they are absolutely ready to be grown up. Sorry, I was fixing the fence line. They have figured out their coop situation. Oh, and they're roosting, which is always fun. They are completely comfortable out here, as you can tell, right? They're no longer huddled up together. They still stay as a flock, but I've got 3 dogs circling the pen right now, and they're kind of like, whatever. The blocker board you see next to the coop is up there for a reason, right? One, it helps us guide them in at night, although we didn't have to do that last night. They went in all by themselves, which was awesome. So it does help us guide them in. It kind of keeps them from running around the coop instead of going inside. And 2, it does give them a visual blocker. It's the same thing as what they're doing now using this white shelter, which the roof is caved in on. It gives a visual block so that they don't have to be, exposed to the dogs running around or anything that may move through. But you can tell that they're pretty much adjusted. This is day 3 for them. You guys are going to see it, I don't know, 5 or 6 days after we let them out. But this is day 3 for them outside, and they have acclimated beautifully. They've had rain, they've had heat, they've had, chilly evenings. And they are loving the ability to pick at the sides of the fence lines and pull bugs off and just having a blast exploring the world that they live in now. We have upgraded their equipment. So you see they have a new waterer, and it's just now, you can tell our littlest chickens can just now reach into it. And I love this waterer for all of the birds. It's big enough for ducks' heads to get in. The ducks can make an absolute mess out of it, which they do, because the ducks will take food and carry food in their bills over to the water and then drop it in the water, which is why the water looks as cloudy as it does. But it has filters. So the food and stuff tends to drop below, and then they drink from the fresh on the top, which is awesome. So love that. Adore that, actually. The other thing that I really like about this one is the sizing. We have some bigger waterers, gigantic waterers. Those things are so heavy to fill and move. So, walking them inside to the spigot, filling them up is easy. Once it's full, though, those things are like 40 pounds. And then I've got water sloshing, and I'm not schlepping it far, but I'm schlepping it far enough that it's a pain. This is the perfect size. It's like 2 gallons or something. So it doesn't weigh a ton. I can easily fill it up quickly. It's plenty for this size flock, right? If we had a bigger flock out here, I might need more. But it's plenty for them. And plus, at this time of the year with the heat, I'm coming down anyway to refresh water 2 to 3 times a day in between breakfast and dinner. So it's more than enough water, and it keeps it clean. And I just, you can see they use it perfectly. The duck can get his whole beak and head in there, which is what he needs. The chickens can reach it, which was the big holdup. They couldn't graduate to this one until the little chickens could reach up in there. They can do that now. And we've also graduated their feeder to a slightly larger feeder. Now, they really don't need a slightly larger feeder than the little baby feeder that I was using. It's just easier for us to use this one, and it's slightly neater because it sits up off the floor a bit. You'll notice, though, I don't know if you can notice, but you should be able to see, it's not even close to being filled. I would never fill it all the way. Chickens are funny birds about that. They will not eat everything that you give them, but they will scatter it. You can see, we move it around because they scatter it. And so the more feed you give them, the more they scatter. So it actually wastes feed. So, we just keep an eye on it, right? If this were to empty out in a day, I would add a little bit extra. It doesn't empty out in a day. I need to pull it back and add a little less, because if you give them feed. If I filled that thing up to the top, they'll empty it, but most of it will just end up on the floor. And so you try and give them kind of the perfect amount that they can eat within the day to maintain and reduce the amount of waste and mess. But overall, they're doing great. Their little feathered legs are coming in. Some of them are looking a little bit more like chickens and a little bit less like awkward things. We still have this little guy that has no tail. This little blue guy. Oh, of course, he's always getting photobombed too, which is really funny. But yeah, I don't know why his tail hasn't decided to come in yet. His little butt is naked. And every time, there you go. Every time I want to show him. So he looks like a quail with no tail. But he's just growing at a different pace than everybody else. The rest of them are exploring. They're checking out the plants and the bugs and the weeds, and they're just having a blast. And they're not bothered at all by the dogs or anything else. And again, they're fully protected. They're covered on the top, so nothing can swoop in and get them. They're also covered not just around the sides and everything, right? The bottom is fully impenetrable. And they have a round of fence around them on top of that. So they're dual fenced. They've got protection on top. They've got places to hide. They're in good shape. They kind of got all distracted and they went out and started exploring. And then they went, oh, yeah, there's dogs still out here. But as you can tell, they're going to go right back to it. They're not really all that bothered by it. They kind of forgot. And we'll call that the Dory effect for those that, know Dory. They just forgot the dogs were around, and then they realized they were, and then they realized what they were, and they're like, okay, we're back to normal now. So there you go. Morning with the chicks. And I've got about 9 minutes before my first meeting. Well, my next meeting for the day. It's not my first. So I've got to head inside. And as always, until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.